So, hello Santa, this is what I want for Christmas. So, look, Jimmy, I'm not gonna lie to you, lad. My shift's f***ing done for the weekend. It's Boxing Day. The elves are just about to clock out the office. Why would anyone even make the tables this high? There's no way I'm gonna... Rudolph got a parking ticket, so I can't even use him for fuck's sake. He's behind bars now. Well, where does he go now? You know what? Fine. You can have one present. I'd like a Chris MD Christmas video. Fucking hell, I'm not God. How about FTW? Look, that's kind of similar. See, how was that? I know I'm not a great kid, but you didn't have to put me on the naughty list. Yo guys, it is your boy Nirin here, and you are watching FTW. This, of course, the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst what football has to offer during the last 7 days. What's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, to every single one of you, wishing you a Merry Christmas. A sensational bunch of people. Thanks for making my 2025 personally by watching the content. Massively appreciative of all of you. Hope you have an amazing festive period. It's been a cool year, but 2026 can only be better, because that's when you'll actually get the real life video. Now, what was our best present? No, not a Link's Africa set you got from your senile nan who calls you the wrong name and her last cognitive memory was in 2004. Grandma, look, no, my name's Finn. Finn? What, it's the end of the day already? Fucking hell. It was instead Jake Paul's jaw looking like a parallelogram. He was knocked out by British Olympic champion Anthony Joshua in their bout via a brutal knockout. Christmas really did come early.
I will love it, and I think I deserve it.
Jake is now getting PTSD, sitting down and being told it's Boxing Day. Allegedly to check for concussion, medics asked him to count to 10 on the canvas. Unfortunately, he couldn't do that before the fight either.
Donut, you're so stupid!
Elsewhere in the boxing world, and Andrew Tate proved he's a peak alpha male by being beaten to a pulp as well. This is how the fight goes when he's not scrapping versus a woman. And there's only one true Andy Tate now.
You are a fool and you are a waste of time.
On to the football though now, and with Boxing Day on the horizon, there must be plenty of... In perhaps the wokest of woke nonsenses, Boxing Day football can barely be found in the Premier League this year, but there was at least plenty of pre-Christmas balling. That was unless you're a United fan, in which you haven't been watching much of that recently. Going into the festive period, United actually haven't been performing half bad if you're just looking at the table alone. Is it due to mostly other teams in the league having a criminal record to match Jeffrey Epstein's phone book? Quite possibly, but you can only play who you come up against. Unfortunately for United, they came up against Aston Villa this week, who sent them packing their Christmas presents. Oh my days, I hope it's a competent centre-back. Wait, what the fuck? There was news in the build-up that suggested Kobbie Mainoo would be missing from action thanks to a slight injury picked up. This, I'm afraid, is the guy who's been doing it about slight injury. Ruben's chucked him down the stairs. Free Kobbie Mainoo from the A&E department. United genuinely ready to turn down any opportunity to put themselves in the top 5 of the league table. Meanwhile, Lenny Yoro was having a difficult time attempting to defend from Morgan Rogers. Morgan was once again on fire for Aston Villa, scoring a brace once more. He can be seen getting himself ramped up to score a 0.01 XG chance from 47 yards out. He's going to be watching the Pushcast nominations for 2026, and he'll realise a pretty constant theme. This is Morgan Rogers' celebration now, by the way. He's got to take this off Cole Palmer. Unai Emery was so excited at his screamers again, he was chucking his jacket off once more. He'll barely have any clothes on at this rate by the time Morgan Rogers has got him through the festive period. Mateus Cunha managed to cash in on Patrick Dorgu's first ever decent cross by missing a header from 4 yards. Meanwhile, his teammate, Manuel Ugarte, bro, he fell to the floor far too easily, gifting Aston Villa an early chance in this match. He is now 007 on results. Yep, in the 7 last games that he's been involved in, he has been on the losing side.
Is there a reason for that?
I cannot explain to you how shit Manuel Ugarte actually is. On my life, Mark Goldbridge could dictate the tempo of a midfield better than him. The price tag as well from PSG, £50 million. Ugarte be taking a piss, bro, honestly. If I was a United fan, I'd be doing FBI training so that I can Photoshop him onto their Epstein files. Get that man arrested.
Check his hard drive.
Bruno Fernandes, while sat on the bench, meanwhile, was getting into a light slanging match with Aston Villa supporters.
Hey, you speak more for me than for your team. You
Villa fans will be delighted, not only with rattling Bruno, but with 10 wins in a row. And they tweeted that the United strand could have had 2 trims by now. Yeah, it's a shithousery award. This guy's just been getting bullets from any side. As for Manchester United, look, again, definite improvement from last season. I don't even think they were that bad in this game, to be fair. They just always find a way to drop points. And whilst I'm sure this will age catastrophically and they'll win versus Newcastle on Boxing Day, mind the gap, little G's, yeah? Don't come near us again. Now, next up, and based on current season performance, it was time for those 2 Set 8 kids to scrap in the playground. You know the ones, yeah? Both of them need a teaching assistant. Someone's gonna get cataclysmically hurt. The other one will probably eat a sock, but overall, it's gonna be entertaining. I am, of course, talking about Liverpool versus Tottenham, a game that is traditionally absolute chaos, did not disappoint here. Before the match, and Thomas Frank stated he wanted to win some silverware.
We would like to compete with the best clubs in the country and hopefully win the championship one day. I think that's what all Spurs fans are dreaming about. That's what I'm dreaming about.
Win the championship. To be fair, that's the way things will be going in the current climate. Liverpool added to Spurs' doom and gloom with a 2-1 win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Just like me, when the TV licence man knocks on the door, Spurs never seem to turn up at home. Spurs fans, I think, have already had enough of their season tickets at this stage.
Here you go, mate. Go and see the second half. It's shit.
And honestly, if I was them, I'd have left after 30 minutes because this was some of the worst football that I've ever seen in my life in the first half. And it didn't get much better for Tottenham fans when Xavi Simons decided to rearrange Virgil van Dijk's Achilles under absolutely no pressure. Let it all go. To spur ourselves into action, though, when Alexander Isak was called on at half-time, Rio Ngamoa couldn't quite believe it, and he made an instant impact as Florian Wirtz slotted it in behind, with the 2 £100 million men combining in an Isak goal, only for Isak to uninstall his leg and ankle at the precise same moment. Yeah, look, it was depressing before. We're back on. Depression's back again.
Every day I wake up.
A Wirtz assist to Isak goal clearly opened Pandora's box of juju because the universe couldn't quite allow it. Alexander Isak sustaining a broken leg after this challenge with Mickey van der Veen. It's going to be a long road to recovery, and he's going to look a little bit different upon return. I genuinely do hope he recovers, and gets well soon. This season, though, ultimately is a complete write-off for him. This felt like a moment that he maybe would be able to build on in terms of not only confidence, but also some level of actual fitness as well. Florian now only needed 163 more assists before the end of the game to beat Ryan Giggs' all-time Premier League tally. And whilst playing Tottenham at their own stadium means that is genuinely possible, let's not get ahead of ourselves. The man's still 007 against sides that have 11 men and that don't require an Oyster card. Liverpool would then go 2 goals to the good after Hugo Ekitike nodded home. The ref fully went blind when Hugo put his hands on the back of Christian Romero. The VAR decision-making behind some of the calls in this football match can now be revealed.
What do we think of Tottenham?
Yeah, the referees were bad, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Tottenham can feel pretty hard done by. I actually do kind of think Romero went down a little bit too easily, but at least he managed to pick up a new hobby on the way down. Romero's performance would then go from bad to worse after getting a red card for a kick out at Canate. Federico Chiesa couldn't quite believe Romero's foolishness, but we still managed to make them look the better side, even down to 9 men. Honestly, every single one of their players could have been sent off and we still would have been under pressure in this game. Richarlison, meanwhile, is a different footballer altogether when a game is already lost completely. Now, over at Newcastle, and they took an early 2-goal lead against Enzo Maresca's Blues. They then remembered the year was 2025, which means they're wank and bottled it to draw instead.
You fucking weapon! Piles of shit!
It wasn't really a great result for either team here. Chelsea always seem to have some sort of depressing knockout blow for Chelsea fans. They've been slacking off after winning the league versus Arsenal a couple months ago, to be fair. They've gone on holiday. Though Newcastle players won't be using their passports at all next season if they're not careful. Their European hopes rely on them actually being decent at some stage. To be fair, at least Nico Voltemada clocked scoring in the opponent's net is actually the right way to do things. For more VAR question marks, though, as Anthony Gordon got bodied by Trevor Chalobah. VAR must have had the power supply off, honestly, over the weekend, because Cole Palmer even seemed pretty mystified by all of this. Actually, no, that's just his face normally. He thinks he's going to Afcon next week, broski. But he doesn't even know that Afcon is a footballing tournament. He just thought that was Afro Nation. He's gonna be left bamboozled when you tell him that St. Kitts and Nevis isn't actually in Africa.
What?
Reece James scored a wonderful free kick, and this one helped slightly by Aaron Ramsdale starting at the corner flag. Newcastle, meanwhile, posted this tweet mocking Malo Gusto about getting stuck in. Maybe Malik Thiaw should have got a bit more stuck in when Joao Pedro nodded the ball over him and then slotted home for the second goal. Robert Sanchez got an assist and a yellow card in this one. Broski, his performance was all over the place. Great work from Pedro to score here. Less so Garnacho. His highlights were like less than ideal for a week. He's got to be one of the most frustrating footballers in the world. Now though, ladies and gentlemen, Afcon is here. The greatest tournament in the world of sport returned this week. A competition of shenanigans, a competition of foolishness, but most importantly, a competition of pure, entertaining, and quality football. And the great thing is everybody across the continent gets a chance to play, apart from Ghana. This is honestly a tournament that Sunderland could probably put an entire 11 out for, and their Premier League counterparty, Basuma, reckons his country Mali could go on and win the entire competition. He's still clearly under the influence of balloons. Now, the tournament opened up, of course, with the hosts, Morocco, playing their first group stage match. There was one casualty before we even got to kick off. That's a red card for the pitch, man. Come on. And it's all them facing off against Comoros, whose heat map can be displayed right here. Their back line, listen, Comoros were not willing to let any chances go by them. Brahim Diaz did at least open the scoring. And to be fair, Morocco's defenders could have maybe learnt a thing or two from Comoros, because they were seen scrapping with each other over mistakes in the back line. Your first goal of the week, though, comes from this game, and it's scored by Ayoub El Karbi. The second goal to give Morocco a cushion in this one. A disgraceful bicycle kick. The technique on this is a joke. The athleticism as well. Day one scoring this goal is nuts, bro. We only just got here. Another man in the goals was Patson Daka, who scored a late equaliser for Zambia. He was so excited by his strike that he tried to do a front flip for it, only clearly he's not got much practice. This is just the most normal Afcon moment as well, innit? Patson, please. You only won bronze at the school gymnastics competition. Don't do the flip.
I've done it. I've done it.
He's going to be turning up for the next game looking a little bit different. But at least he was still willing to try one of these moves in the press conference after as well. At Senegal's opening game against Botswana, and the famed Moroccan fan who could be seen dancing with them at the World Cup of 2022 made his reappearance amongst the Senegalese supporters once more. But a more eye-catching fan in the stands for this one was this guy here, who's got the next season of Squid Game to film at 8 o'clock. He's got places to be. Some third member of Daft Punk. If the sun hits him in the correct way, it causes an epileptic incident out on the pitch. Egypt left it late to defeat Zimbabwe. Mo Salah taking a break from putting up his Christmas tree to score the all-important goal here. His celebration towards Jamie Carragher was very, very personal, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Fucking off that, you cunt!
Organisers actually had to open this game up for free, as in gates, for people to come and watch in the stadium, because there was barely anyone in the ground at kickoff. It did work as an initiative, and it was a lovely gesture. I think we had about 30,000 people in the stands by the end. But kind of crazy so early on that the attendance numbers were so far down. Now, AFC Afcon, otherwise known as Sunderland, played this week, and they drew 0-0 against Brighton in the Prem. I have nothing to say about this game. I just thought I'd mention it. To be fair, 6 Afcon Dons away on international duty. That's still a good point for the Black Cats. A good 3 points for the Gunners, who defeated Everton 1-0. Slim margins here, but it could have been more. They hit the woodwork towards the end. Victor Gyökeres finally scored again, except it's from the penalty spot. So don't even try and do your celebration properly for that, man. You gotta put your hands over your nose or something. I don't know what Jake O'Brien was doing for this penalty in terms of what was given away by Everton. Bro's learnt from the school of Odegaard. This guy's full twerks away from being Virgil van Dijk. To be fair to Gyökeres though, look, listen, he's been getting a lot of slack this season. That was the end of the sentence, and he deserves that. No, but the 99 shot power that he blammed this into the back of the net with was at least pretty impressive. Over at Manchester City, they pretty easily brushed aside West Ham. Manchester City's attackers were doing the robot, or in Erling Haaland's case, he was just doing. Peter Crouch physically asked him not to steal that celebration, because that's all he has over the Norwegian. And I'm really starting to think that Pep Guardiola did in fact replace Sergio Aguero. One man who's been banging in goals for fun recently in the Prem is Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's on a crazy tear at the moment. Serious purple patch for Leeds. 6 goals in his last 5 matches. He might actually be the best striker in the world. He hasn't scored this highly since his Milan catwalk. Tom Davies is probably watching on at home in some flipping dressing gown that's made out of red leather. Proud as always. Meanwhile, amateur side Wolverhampton Wanderers are still bottom of the league on 2 points. That's 11 losses in a row now for them in the league, and they've equalled Sheffield United's record of the worst team by the time they arrive at Christmas Day.
That wasn't very Christmassy.
Strand Larson up top for them has packed it in. He's putting in less kilometres run than Jake Paul this week, and then he pulled out a pretty awful penalty just to top things all off. If you get the death penalty as a crime, you better hope Wolves are taking it, because you might get off lightly. Within Kelleher was once again there to stop a spot kick as Brentford won 2-0 here. He turns into a different species altogether when his opponent puts the ball down on the penalty spot. Fair thought for any Wolves manager now, because they're not getting the most out of their team. I just can't understand all these tactics, man. It's the learning difficulties. Learning difficulties? What are your learning difficulties? Probably ball control. I find it difficult to learn that, not gonna lie. To be honest, look, as far as Wolves are concerned, this is basically a net positive, this result. There's more of a 0 points gained than 3 points dropped kind of scenario. Now, in Italy, Napoli won the Supercoppa thanks to a 2-0 win against Bologna in the final. David Neres scored both goals, including a beauty for the first. He probably smoked 3 spliffs before taking a strike to clear his mind. There were empty seats in the background because this game is being played in Saudi Arabia. No, not quite as much for its Bologna fans as it is human rights record. But either way, Scott McSauce is probably somewhere drinking a Moretti out of a trophy in a silk robe and 1.7 million euro slippers, smoking a cigar, with 11 supermodels talking to him about the economic climate in Venezuela. Things are much more simple for Rasmus Højlund, who's getting a confetti shower with a trophy. I need a hype man like this. And his Insta caption was taking digs at Manchester United. If you want a trophy, leave the Red Devils. Yeah, shithousery award for the day. Speaking of Italian games taking place in other countries, AC Milan versus Como, which was scheduled to be taking place in Australia this season, has been blocked now. Probably upon realising that about 4 people in Australia know what a Como is. Cesc Fabregas will be fuming, realising he can't ruin Assane Diao's hamstrings in another random game next May. More bad news for AC Milan is that they're signing German striker Nicolas Füllkrug. I feel like there's a bit of a gap, in fairness, in AC Milan's attack. It's called Nicolas Füllkrug's dental history. Sorry, that's harsh. I take it back. He was a great striker, in fairness, at Borussia Dortmund and in the Bundesliga for the likes of Werder Bremen, but things did not work out fitness and performance-wise at the Hammers. AC Milan's will be waiting 3 to 4 business weeks for him to get from the plane to the exit of the airport. I'm not gonna lie to you, based on the sort of pace I saw from him at the London Stadium. But the great news is, West Ham fans, it's West Ham, so expect yourselves to sign the worst striker in human history to replace him. Back on Supercoppa duty, and Mike Manan somehow got away with absolutely clarting a Napoli player.
Get him off the field! That was diabolical!
Meanwhile, Juventus manager Luciano Spalletti explained why Jonathan David isn't getting invited to dinners with his teammates anymore. Apparently, he grated parmesan on seafood pasta. To be fair, the Italian cardinal sin. The Serie A title race is looking kind of nuts again this season, but to be fair, the fact they've allowed Juventus in here is kind of inexcusable. Meanwhile, at the other end of the table, and Fiorentina hadn't won all season, then just randomly peppered Udinese 5-1. This league makes no sense, honestly. In Germany, Harry Kane became the fastest player to ever reach 100 goals in the Bundesliga. He's evolved again, even since the Tottenham days now.
Well, all right, lads. Guten Tag.
Bayern now have a plus 44 goal difference already. Do you understand? They've got the area code of the UK as their goal difference, and it's only just been Christmas. Meanwhile, at Borussia Dortmund, things aren't going quite as smoothly, as Karim Adeyemi was substituted off in the league, and he tried to go immediately down the tunnel instead of watching the rest of the game. He's trying to clock off early for Christmas, man. Who can blame him? His girlfriend probably told him he had to move into the tunnel there, you see. So, in Spain, Kylian Mbappe scored for Real Madrid. I've probably just copy and pasted that from a previous episode, genuinely. He's been scoring for fun, of course, for Real Madrid, and he marked his most recent strike with a Cristiano Ronaldo celebration. Who saw it and commented over on Instagram. Meanwhile, speaking of social media, Vinny Jr. has changed his profile picture to all black after whistles and criticism from Real fans. At least he's actually playing, unlike Endrick, who upgraded from the bench to the stands this week. Barcelona went 4 points clear of Los Blancos. Real Madrid fans are thinking of switching allegiances now, as they beat Villarreal, a task made a little bit easier when Renato Vega was sent off for a tackle on Lamine Yamal. Barca fans were probably chasing Renato down after trying to protect their star boy. Meanwhile, the Titanic would have not a scratch on it if Joan Garcia was born in like 1873. I mentioned Lamine Yamal there. He scored in this game, but one kid playing in a youth tournament in Spain is not quite as impressed at the Ballon d'Or contender. Nico Garrido here saying that he doesn't quite understand Lamine Yamal, doesn't know what's wrong with him. He's 18 years old, but thinks he's Messi. This brother is 8. Who gave him this confidence? In France now, we're talking cup competition. 6th-tier side Bayo, their players found out live that they'd be playing Olympique Marseille from Liga. A real David and Goliath clash, and their reaction was lovely. In current Coupe de France games, and there was flares being let off between Les Herbiers and Angers, which actually had the game suspended for a little bit. And AS Gauzier were the final team, not actually based on mainland France, to be eliminated from the tournament. The Guadeloupean side going out 7-0, but honestly a good effort from them.
Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes the beautiful game.
Now in Portugal, and Porto have made a massive signing. Centre-back Thiago Silva. Bro, this guy is 53, fam. Like, how is he actually? This guy played alongside Maldini, you know, and he started his footballing career in 1962, staying in Portugal, and there was a VAR disaster between Sporting and Santa Clara, where a VAR decision needed 12 minutes to come to the right conclusion. And some feel that it wasn't even the right conclusion. I mean, 12 minutes on a VAR call is absolutely ludicrous anyway. Meanwhile, in Aruca's game against Santa Clara, and only one supporter of Aruca turned up for their 0-0 draw away from home. The players rewarded that fan by going over and personally chatting to him. A club known for not really having a big fan base, but one away fan, you're taking the piss. Over in the Netherlands, and in a game between Go Ahead Eagles and Roda JC, Go Ahead Eagles made 8 substitutes in a game. This, of course, very rare. Usually you see 5 at a max these days, but there were 2 concussion substitutions for Go Ahead Eagles in this one, as well as an extra one during extra time. Or you might as well just change the whole starting 11 at that stage. Cristiano Ronaldo gave a lovely shout out to Al Nassr's women's side after winning silverware this week. They've managed to do something that he couldn't, clearly, in Saudi Arabia. A defender who conceded 4 goals to Erling Haaland when he was a youth prospect back at Mulder decided to go and watch him play most recently and brought a banner with him saying because he conceded 4 goals in a game to Haaland in his early career, that means that he qualifies for a free shirt. Honestly, I hear it. Without him, you wouldn't be here today, Erling. Darwin Núñez, meanwhile, is keeping himself occupied on public transport in Saudi Arabia. And on the theme of gymnastics, we're seeing it back on the pitch thanks to the legend that is Renny Higuita, the South American goalkeeper known for introducing the scorpion kick to the game as a goalkeeper, did it again in a charity match this week. Now, in a TikTok this week, and Chloe Kelly was giving Beth Mead her flowers.
Beth, what she done in 2022 was special, and the year that she had as well. Beth Mead or Pele? Pele. Oh, that's tough.
But those amount of flowers, that's a bouquet too many. Come on. 2022 Beth Mead or Pele? What the hell was Beth Mead doing in 2022 for this to be a question? Don't get it twisted, Pele wasn't quite mini-minter when there hasn't been a goal in a YouTube video for approximately 4 minutes of runtime. But he was still a force of nature. He's still one of the founding fathers of football. I suppose if you want to go down the route of, you know, players are more physically and technically advanced now than they were in the 60s, then by all means go for it. But we can't compare eras, and I think this is why. Now, there was wholesome stuff going on at Nottingham Forest as some of their players visited a local hospital just before Christmas to give out gifts and presents to some of the kids that would be staying over there during the festive period, and I think it was absolutely beautiful. Wasn't quite that sort of festive cheer going on at Coventry though, as Frank Lampard clashed with Southampton fans and then players after their draw in the Championship this week. Well, you know, they were giving me some stick. These Southampton fans hardly acting like saints, are they? Fucking hell, do you know what I mean? No, but genuinely, I will annihilate all of their families. The aggression continued at Luton, where supporters found themselves chinning each other on live TV. And I honestly do think Wrexham's goalkeeper might need a slight slapping just back into reality after charging 18 yards out of his area to try and punch a free kick clear, only to get lost in the crowd, recover, and then drop the ball at the feet of a Swansea attacker again in the 90th minute of a game. There were scary scenes in a Russian futsal match where a player was almost blinded by fireworks down on the sidelines. After the ball went into the back of the net, he found himself charging to try and stop it, couldn't quite do it, ended up stood above these, and the fireworks went off in his face. He narrowly avoided being blinded, but we've got to get these away from, like, what? How could that be at the side of the pitch that close to players? That's a catastrophic failing in health and safety. In Turkey, and Salih Dursan was struggling to hide his emotions when watching his teammate take a free kick and miss it pretty disastrously. Mali faced off against Argentina's under-17s, and they celebrated victory against them by producing the sworn enemy of Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo's celebration. All of them dropping a sou on Argentina's head top. It's a shithousery award. It was absolute chaos between Deportivo Independiente Medellin and Nacional fans after a cup loss. Deportivo supporters stormed the pitch and absolutely dismantled it. Really scary stuff here. Meanwhile, better scenes at AEK Athens, where their president has paid out a €500,000 bonus for reaching the knockout stages of the Conference League, thanks to a winner in the 13th minute of injury time against Romanian side U Craiova, who miss out on the knockout stages on goals scored. Now though, it is time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And this time around, look, you know, there's a lot of technicalities, there's a lot of technology involved in the beautiful game these days. But when it comes to the amateur leagues, they can't always recreate that. What they can do is get inventive. And in true French fashion here, Snapchat is being used heavily, this time as a source of VAR.
Their makeshift VAR shows the ball crossing the line, leaving the score at 3-2 Comoros.
I just think this is what they should be using anyway, to be honest with you. On to the weird stuff though now. Now, we've all seen a player get frustrated during a match. Tensions can run high, okay, emotions can get the better of players, but it's gone way too far in Albania. Villis find themselves 2 goals down in one of their league matches at the moment in Albania, and their goalkeeper has clearly taken that personally. Jeremy Vasho decided to leave the pitch of his own accord, taking his gloves off, clearly fuming at the rest of his side, before walking off the pitch and down the tunnel into the dressing room without saying anything to his coach. This brother literally forced the substitution. The other goalkeeper wasn't even ready for him. But finally, we have got a story from that nation again. It's Romania this week, time left till the last minute, and this story comes from 2nd Division side Concordia. That's a pretty crunch time in the season, alright? We're approaching the January transfer window. You might want to bring in some new players as a sporting director, or you may want to abandon your club entirely and go on a TV show. Yep, Gabriel Tamas here has left his role as a sporting director for the Romanian side so that he can go and compete on a reality TV show known as Survivor. Pretty much what it says on the tin, one of them survival TV shows. He's going to be missing in action for a little while. That though is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Once again, I want to say a massive thank you to you guys for your support on not only FTW but all of the videos this year, all of the content that's been going out. I really do appreciate you guys so much. I hope you had an amazing Christmas. I hope you go on to have an amazing new year. Videos might slow down a little bit just at the start of January so I can have like a break and kind of plan this year coming up. I want 2026 to be a massive year, and I want you guys to enjoy all the content, but we'll be back and better than ever. If you're excited for that, then make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video, and you can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and bomba clap, Merry Christmas, man.